I don't take part in pseudoscience. I want to see something real, and there's something happening here. So the EEG is the electroencephalogram. This is where we record tiny electrical signals that are coming out of the brain. So that's important because we want to make sure that the instrumentation can measure what we claim it's going to measure. And then we have the ERP test. Now, ERP stands for event-related potential. And this is where we have a task. And in this task, when you see the go stimulus, you click the mouse one time. When you see the no-go stimulus, you don't do anything. So then you have your conditions, right? So you have a baseline condition with no phone present. Then we go to the next condition where you have a phone, you're holding it up, and it's right by your temporal lobe, and we call that phone, so it's live, right? And that phone is not protected with any Aries technology. Then we put the Aries technology on the same phone, and we call it, we put it up to the head, again, another 10-minute exposure, and then we hang up that phone, and then we run those 3 tests again. In the ERP test, the reaction time on the far left, number 1 is the baseline. Number 2 is exposure to the phone without any Aries technology. And number 3 is exposure to the phone with Aries technology. Your reaction time is key here. This is the amount of milliseconds it takes for you to press that mouse when you see the go stimulus. The baseline is 444 milliseconds. That's a very good reaction time. It's healthy, it's fast, and it's what you should see in a normal person. And immediately after, when we do the test again, now you see that this reaction time gets longer. Then we do the test again, but this time we have Aries Tech on the phone. And what you see is that reaction time actually is the best reaction time that we saw. And this is what really intrigues me. It's really interesting to see how there's roughly a 50 millisecond difference between the no protection versus the Aries protection. And 50 milliseconds in the brain is an eternity. In order for reaction time to improve, you have to have better executive functioning. Okay, and so that means your brain has to fire off faster. So this is why the UFC people should be very interested in this technology, because in a fight, don't you think faster reaction times may yield a better outcome? So that's the ERP data. And then when we actually walked in there, then we ran that test again. But this time we had the eyes open, eyes closed. So you have these frequency bands here, and you have delta, theta, alpha, beta, and high beta. Now, these are all z-scores here that you're seeing. So the normal range is 1.75 to negative 1.75. So if it goes above and below that, then that raises attention, right? Well, if it's dark blue like that, that means you're low on power. This is the exposure with the phone. Delta went up a lot, 3 standard deviations above the norm as compared to the baseline, right? That's what happens with no Aries technology and it's being exposed to the phone. Okay, now here's the kicker. This is what he looks like after Aries Tech. Everything falls in a normal range. Everything. These are numbers. I mean, and this is the coolest thing about it. It's like, there's the math. If the Aries technology was not working, right, we would see the same kind of profile from 2 to 3, but we didn't. What we saw was a normalization. Something is happening here. That's why I'm interested in this technology, why I'm participating in this, because, you know, I don't take part in pseudoscience. I want to see something real, and there's something happening here. So if I can help validate that, then I'm happy to be the neutral scientist to do that. I think it's valid. I've seen it myself, so I'm down. I think this is it's a good technology to put out there.